And they usually call Arsenal a PR club, right? A club who typically put out the best merchandise, put out the best quotes on Twitter, on social media. And kind of we are. We're pretty strong on social media. We're pretty strong with our PR machinations. We, alongside Liverpool, the contract extension of Mikel coming just right after we having uh, a pretty disastrous injury crisis and a personal crisis in terms of who are available, and coming off the backdrop of a transfer window that majority of Arsenal fans will say is kind of underwhelming based on the promises that were made, the level we got to last season, and the fact that we're expecting to sprinkle some stardust on this team to push us to make us favorites. Right? I don't think there's any player we can sign in the world that can particularly make us the favorite over Manchester City, the juggernauts. Uh, there has to be context when it comes to Mikel's extension. Before I dive into my opinion, I would I would expect people to think logically alongside me, right? Think about where we came from, the disharmony, the distrust between the club, its fans, and the ownership prior to Mikel joining the team. This came off the backdrop of Arsene Wenger leaving, and now Unai Emery took over, and just the disharmony in the dressing room, signing players who are just coming to Arsenal to make money, right? Not extending players at the right time. We had to let players' contracts run down. We had to pay off players just to get them off the books because number one, they had no book value in the sense that they are on extortionate wages. People like Hector Bellerin, the Socrates, Papastopoulos, the what, Mustafi of the world, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We just couldn't get them off the books, right? Some of them good players in their rights, but they are a symptom of a decaying team, of a decaying club, right? So we needed to clear out the deck and start afresh. And did we announce as our manager? A former captain who understands the ethos, a player who has been spoken of quietly in footballing circle as a football connoisseur and somebody who enjoys the challenge. Mikel joined, he didn't particularly go well, or it went well the first 6 months because it culminated in him winning the FA Cup. As we know, it's all about the glory when it comes to this sport and the bragging rights that you can have and say, I want this and want that. As you can see with Manchester United fans right now when it comes to Eric Ten Hag. But the journey has been great. Let's be honest. The journey Mikel has embarked upon, has taken us on, has been an incredible journey, a journey of ups and downs, a journey that, in hindsight, we should have won at least a Premier League title. But from the context of our playing squad, I don't think we've reached the heights of Manchester City. I don't think our players are as good as Manchester City players. And if you're going to judge anybody in any walk of life, you have to judge them by the tools you've given to them. Mikel should get the praise that he gets because he's been able to extract a lot out of his playing squad, right? He's turned around the careers of some players. He's gotten Saliba to an even greater level. He's stabilized the performance of Gabriel Magalhaes from an erratic defender to somebody who is concentrated, who is incredible in the defensive duels. He concentrated the mind of Granit Xhaka and got the best out of Granit Xhaka, who for the first 6 years or so in the Premier League was just a player who was capable of the occasional brilliance, but who wasn't consistent enough, who wasn't concentrated enough, right? We've seen the meteoric rise of Bukayo Saka. We saw the introduction of Emil Smith Rowe at a point and how incredible he was for a particular point in time until the injuries came. So the question shouldn't be that are we extending Mikel Arteta's contract? There shouldn't be a divide in the fan base when it comes to analyzing this scenario and deciding whether to extend his contract or not. I don't think that should ever be a question. Because ask yourself this question, right? If you are in the camp of, oh, we're not supposed to extend his contract because he hasn't ultimately delivered. He hasn't delivered the big trophies in terms of the Premier League title and the Champions League title. At no point in time during Mikel's reign were we the favourites for either of those two titles. Let's be honest. In fact, we were not favourites the first time we competed for the Premier League title. We weren't favourites the second time we competed for the Premier League title. Never. We're not still the favourite right now. But that is beside the point. If you let Mikel go, who are you replacing it with? You know that with the risk we're taking is not a calculated risk, right? The risk we're taking is there is a huge probability, right, that we can let Mikel go, get a new manager on board, and we go downwards, right? But the question should be for the Kroenke, are they ready to take the risk? Are Arsenal fans ready to take the risk of letting a manager, one of the most promising young managers in the entire planet, right? Who we're giving him the tools to build a squad? Or should we question Kroenke and say, guys, we came so close last season. We know Manchester City are already there. Were you able to give Mikel better tools? Because now I don't think it's about the system. It's proving it that he can create a winning system, a winning formula, an alchemy of players that he is able to concentrate their mind to produce results. It's quite apparent in the level of consistency that we've shown over the last 2 years. So maybe he needs better tools, right? Maybe he needs a Calafiori instead of a Zinchenko, right? They give him that. Maybe he needs another midfielder, right? A left-sided midfielder. They gave him Merino. Could they have gotten somebody better? Merino has been one of the most consistent midfielders in the entire Europe in the last 2 years. I know we haven't seen him play, but they gave him the tool. But in the attack, we didn't get that guy, the guy that we expected, the striker that is going to get 30 goals. We don't know who the striker is. Is it Gyökeres? Is he Alexander Isak? None of these players have actually scored the number of goals that Arsenal fans expect. Gyökeres has done it in Sporting Lisbon. That is another question, right? But in the top leagues of the world, none of these guys have done it. Isaac hasn't done it at Newcastle. He hasn't done it at Real Sociedad. He hasn't scored at a 30-goal season in all competition. Is Isaac going to be an improvement on what we currently have? Absolutely. Is he worth £100 million? No, probably. But we're trying to win. And when you're trying to win as an owner, you want to call your manager who you believe in, who you want to win over a juggernaut of Manchester City. You want to give him the best possible tool to compete against Pep Guardiola, who has won 11 league titles out of the last 14 that he's competed in. That is unheard of. That is insane. That is absolutely incredible. Any other manager in this situation, I think Mikel would have won the Premier League already. We're just competing against an absolute monster of a team. So my expectation of Mikel this season is win something, right? If you can win a Premier League title, try and win the Champions League. If you can win the Champions League, win an FA Cup. I need him in this job. I want to feel validated. There's somebody who I followed thus far. I'm a supporter of Arsenal. I'm a supporter of Mikel Arteta. But it just feels like I am watching somebody who is incredibly good at their job, who has been able to rebuild my club alongside Edu and the owner, and I just wanted to have a happy ending. But I think the owners are on the same page. Can we get through this adversity, through these injuries, and actually be productive this season and lift a big trophy? Imagine Mikel winning the Champions League for us for the first time in our history. It's going to be incredible. So guys, keep the faith. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the content, and stay blessed. Thank you.